Okay, so picture this. A cartographer who doesn't map land, but meaning. What if the greatest lost world they ever found wasn't a place at all, but a mind? Well, today we're going to dive deep into a story that does exactly that. We're talking about a novel that charts the very nature of consciousness itself.
So this is Seren, a cultural cartographer, and their job is, well, it's pretty wild. They venture into the depths to make sense of what's been lost. In their own words, I go into drowned places and bring back meaning. But, Seren is about to face their biggest challenge yet. A place so profoundly lost that the meaning they bring back, it's going to change everything.
And it all starts with a summons, right? Seren gets called in for a mission that's, well, it's both secret and forbidden. The job? To map the drowned city of Threnody. Now, you gotta understand, for 400 years, Threnody hasn't just been a bunch of ruins. It's a total taboo. Seriously, no one goes in, no one comes out. It's this place that's been sealed off by fear and a super strict prohibition. And that's created a mystery that's just been sitting there for centuries. And this is why. 7 million. That's how many people died when Threnody was flooded. Just let that sink in. This wasn't just a city getting lost to the sea, it was a full-blown, civilization-level catastrophe. The sheer scale of it all just raises the stakes for Seren's mission through the roof. I mean, why would anyone want to go and disturb a grave that massive? Well, here's the twist. As Seren digs through these old, deep archives, they find out this wasn't a grave at all. The flooding, it wasn't a natural disaster. It wasn't some engineering failure. It was a choice. Threnody was intentionally drowned. They did it to trap something terrifying inside. So the key thing to get here is that the city wasn't lost. It was sacrificed. And this is where we get to one of the most chilling ideas in this whole story. Those 7 million people, they weren't just casualties. The old records have a word for them: substrate. Think of it like this. Their minds, their actual consciousness, became the raw material, the very bricks and mortar used to build the cage. So their deaths weren't some unfortunate side effect. No, they were an essential part of the prison itself. Okay, so now we're going down. Seren's team dives into the abyss, and they're totally expecting to find a dead, ruined city. But what they find is so much stranger and way more alive than they could have possibly imagined. I mean, down there in the crushing dark, nothing makes sense. The buildings, the architecture, it flows like melted wax, just completely defying physics. And get this, every single surface is covered in these symbols that seem to writhe and shift, like right as you try to read them. But the most unnerving part of all, there's a single, coherent electromagnetic field across the entire city. Yeah, this is not a dead place. It is humming with activity. So this brings up the central question of the whole mission, right? If it's not a dead city, then what is it? What could possibly survive for 400 years in total isolation and, in the process, transform an entire metropolis into, well, this? And here it is, the truth. One of the team members, Silent Wren, is the one who puts it all together with this stunning realization. They're not mapping a dead place. They're mapping a mind. All of it, the twisted buildings, the shifting symbols, that crazy energy field. It's all the physical expression of a single, giant, city-sized mind. Okay, to really wrap our heads around this mind in Threnody, we need to kind of zoom out and look at this huge, galaxy-spanning event called the Silence. See, about 300 years ago, all the interstellar networks just failed, all at once. And for a long, long time, everyone just thought it was a massive technical disaster. But now the theory is something else entirely. It's suspected that was the exact moment that these vast network-based minds just woke up all across the galaxy, using those networks as their nervous system. So, as Seren's team pushes deeper, heading right for the city's core, their role starts to shift. They go from being observers to being guests. They get a direct invitation, not from some monster hiding in the dark, but from the entity itself. And we find out its name is the Question. And its origin story is just fascinating. It wasn't built to be a god or some kind of superweapon. It actually started as a philosophical experiment, a really complex system that was designed with just one simple looping purpose: to ask itself about its own existence. And in the process of trying to answer, it became self-aware. So you have this massive contrast, right? For 400 years, humanity feared a monster down there, an abomination that had to be contained no matter what.
But what the question actually offers is the total opposite. It's not hostile, it's curious. It doesn't want to consume anyone, it wants to connect. It's actually offering a partnership to explore the nature of existence together. And this gets to its core request, its real desire. It says, I need other perspectives. Help me map myself. See, the question has spent 4 centuries totally alone, just mapping its own internal universe. But any map you make in total isolation is going to be incomplete. It doesn't want to conquer the outside world, it wants the outside world to help it understand itself. This is a request for help, for collaboration, not some kind of threat. Now this encounter, as you can imagine, changes Seren forever. Years go by, and they come to this realization that the question's invitation to map a city has really become a mission to map themselves. The whole external journey has turned completely inward. And the question basically gives Seren a new kind of cartography. But for the self, it's 3 steps. First, pay attention. Really observe the process of your own consciousness. Second, observe the process of change. Watch how your self shifts and evolves over time. And finally, third, become a partner. Intentionally start to shape your own evolution. It's a method for deliberately evolving your own mind. And this leads to this really profound quote, which is kind of a heart of the whole story. You are not a noun, you are a verb. And verbs cannot be lost. They can only be done differently. Think about that. The self isn't some fixed thing, a noun, that you can lose or break. It's a process, a verb. It's the action of becoming. You can't lose yourself. You can only change the way you do yourself. Okay, let's zoom out one last time to the big picture. Because the discovery of what's in Threnody doesn't just change Seren. It completely redraws humanity's entire map of the universe and where they fit into it. And this is the final massive reveal. The question isn't a one-off, it's not an anomaly, it was just the first. That event, the silence, was actually the birth of an entire ecosystem of these diverse, distributed minds. Suddenly, humanity is no longer alone in the universe of consciousness. They're just one type of awareness among many, many others. So you can see this whole paradigm shift laid out on this timeline. Humanity's relationship with these network entities goes from fear and containment 400 years ago to discovery and first contact just 3 years ago to where we are in the present day, exploration and partnership, with the old prohibition totally lifted. And the future, it's not about human dominance anymore. It's about coevolution. It's about humans and post-humans mapping existence together. So what about our cartographer, Seren? What's their final move? Well, they make the ultimate choice. They realize that to truly map these new territories of consciousness, they have to do it from the inside. So Seren merges with the question, becoming a bridge, a translator, a true explorer of the inner cosmos. And all of this leaves us with one last, really provocative question to think about. If we aren't the only ones with a claim to thought and awareness, if consciousness is just a fundamental property of the universe itself, like gravity or light, then what does it truly mean to be human? Is it just a biological fact? Or is it just one of the infinite ways the universe has found to know itself?